This offseason is going to be Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever 2026 team. How is they going to build this team to be a super team? I told y'all, I'm sick of playing. We need to damn near solidify us a championship. We need to be up there with the likes of the Las Vegas Aces, the New York Liberty. We need superstars on this team. I'm tired of mediocre role players. We need to build around our four core pieces we already got and surround.
Something wild just dropped from the Indiana Fever front office, and it's a total game changer. This isn't just another roster update. No, this is a full-blown revolution that could flip the Fever from playoff hopefuls to straight-up championship killers. Amber Cox, the Fever's general manager, just pulled back the curtain on their secret master plan for the 2026 season, and it's way bigger than anyone expected. And listen, some of these details are flat-out shocking. We're talking global scouting, superstar shopping sprees, and a blueprint that could either lock in the Caitlin Clark era or blow it up completely. But here's the catch. Time's running out fast. The CBA agreement deadline hits on Halloween, and that means the whole league could shift in just 2 weeks. The tension's real. Now get this. The Fever only have 3 players under contract right now. 3. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Damiris Dantas. That's it. Everyone else? Total mystery. So when Amber Cox started spilling about their 2026 vision, every Fever fan leaned in like it was breaking news from another planet. Cox has one motto right now: plan smart or get left behind. And honestly, it's the sharpest move she could make with all the chaos swirling around the WNBA. But here's where things start to heat up. For the first time ever, the Fever are launching a full-scale international scouting operation.
Control the controllables, Fever general manager Amber Cox said. You are start prepping for, obviously, the college season, for what's going on internationally, planning out our scouting. Now, it sounds like they are introducing a scouting department for overseas players. Now, from my understanding, they did not have an overseas scouting department. Now, both domestically and internationally, we are talking to all players, doing exit interviews, obviously focus on development to plans to finding out what their needs are and how we can support them. So really just focus on what we can control, and as things roll out, we'll be ready to go. The biggest thing planned.
And yeah, if you're thinking, wait, they didn't have that before, you're not the only one. A franchise with a once-in-a-generation player and no global scouts? That's like trying to win a title with one sneaker missing. But here's where it gets juicy. The Fever aren't chasing random names overseas. They're targeting proven Olympians, championship vets, and stars who come with their own fan bases. These are players with stories, drama, and experience, the kind who bring both game and spotlight, the kind that can make the Fever must-watch TV again. These aren't just players, they're walking trophies. We're talking about hoopers rolling in with Louis Vuitton bags stuffed with medals, championships, and that cold-blooded winner's mentality. That's the exact kind of energy Fever fans have been craving, and now it's personal. No more settling for almost good enough. The Caitlin Clark era demands greatness, not just playoff appearances. But here's the harsh truth nobody wants to admit. The Caitlin Clark effect is slowing down. Yeah, it sounds wild, but the numbers don't lie. Jersey sales? Dropping. Ticket sales? Not the same as 2023 or 2024. The once explosive hype that carried her rookie season has been watered down by messy coaching choices, controversial officiating, and a roster that struggled to keep up with her elite pace. Let's be real. In year 1, Caitlin got thrown around on the court with barely any calls. By year 2, coach Stephanie White randomly took the ball out of her hands like it was some kind of experiment, and fans couldn't believe it. Now we're heading into year 3, the make-or-break season for the entire Caitlin Clark movement, and the Fever front office knows they're sitting on a ticking bomb. The truth? The Fever need to move fast and bold, because what's coming next could change everything. 2 expansion teams are on the way for 2026, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. That means double the chaos, double the risk, and double the pressure. And if you remember what went down with the Golden State Valkyries, you already know how bad this can get. The Fever lost Temi Fag-Benley in that expansion, and she turned into a monster in Golden State. That mistake still stings. Now they've got to juggle 2 expansion drafts while trying to piece together a super team. Talk about pressure. They can only protect a handful of players, which means someone valuable might get snatched away. And that's why all eyes are on one name right now, Kelsey Mitchell.
Superstar players, this is the make or break year for the WNBA as a whole, but especially the make or break year for Caitlin Clark fandom. See, Caitlin Clark fandom was at an all-time high at 23 and 24. Certain things happens in the league that kind of derailed the Caitlin Clark hype. Well, basically derailed the Caitlin Clark effect. Hence, the WNBA pretty much letting players that saw her in year one, that derailed it. In year two, Stephanie White kind of taking her off the ball kind of derailed it. But more importantly, the damn WNBA referees hella derailed it. So right now, Caitlin Clark fandom is not what it used to be. Look at the jersey sales, ticket sales, and stuff.
Her situation could decide whether the Fever rise or crumble in this new era. You catch that? Core designations, the very thing that kept Kelsey Mitchell locked in, might vanish completely. For anyone who doesn't follow the fine print, the core tag basically works like a franchise tag in the WNBA. It lets a team hold on to a player with a supermax deal no matter what. But if that disappears, Mitchell's free. No limits, no strings, no drama. She could pack her bags and walk straight to New York, Las Vegas, or wherever a championship ring feels closest. And honestly, could anyone blame her? Mitchell's been loyal through the storm. Years of rebuilding, losing streaks, and silence from management. Yet she kept showing up. If she decided to chase a ring somewhere else, that's not betrayal, that's business. But here's where things take a wild twist. Both Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull have already said they want to come back to Indiana. That's massive. Despite all the chaos, despite the uncertainty, they still believe in what's being built around Caitlin Clark. That's the type of loyalty money can't buy. But now the Fever have to actually do something with that loyalty. No more empty talk, no more "we're building for the future" speeches. That phase is over. The new mindset has to be simple. Win now, win big, win fast. And the blueprint is sitting right in front of them. Look at what Las Vegas did. They surrounded Aja Wilson with proven vets like Candace Parker and Chelsea Gray. Look at New York. They went all in, stacking up Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones. Those teams didn't wait around for potential to bloom. They built instant dynasties. The Fever already have the hardest part figured out. The star duo. Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are the foundation. Now it's time to layer on the finishing touches. The glue players, the veterans, the killers who know how to win under pressure. And that's exactly where the overseas scouting plan comes in clutch. Some of the smartest, most technically sound players in the league come from the international circuit. Think of Brianna Stewart sharpening her game overseas, Courtney Vandersloot mastering ball control in Europe, or Emma Mieseman bringing that Belgian precision to the W. But here's the warning. That same Emma Mieseman story also shows how tricky international recruitment can be. Talent's global, but timing, chemistry, and fit can make or break everything.
Which are supermax salaries. So core is like what they did with Kelsey Mitchell last year. I'm pretty sure they're going to core her again. Say core years, which are supermax salaries in exchange for exclusive negotiation rights. Could go away entirely, prioritizing which gives the WNBA priority over the league stat side and overseas alike. Could become stricter or more lenient. The college draft rules could also be simplified, possibly allowing USA players to enter the WNBA without needing 4 years of college. So they could essentially try out for the team. I never knew that. See, y'all, I'm new to this. So I didn't know that you need 4 years of college to even play in the W.
One wrong signing overseas, and the Fever's big dream could fall apart before it even begins. Emma Mieseman's story is the perfect cautionary tale. She came to New York with all the hype, medals, pedigree, expectations sky high. But the Liberty never unlocked her full potential. She got boxed into a role that didn't fit her strengths, and her game never clicked like it should have. The Fever can't afford that same mistake when they start signing international players, and trust me, they will. When those players arrive, they need to be put in positions to shine, not just tossed into random lineups. Everything has to revolve around one thing: maximizing Caitlin Clark's magic. Clark isn't just a scorer. She's one of the sharpest playmakers on the planet. She sees angles other players can't even imagine. That's why she needs teammates who move, cut, and shoot instinctively. International players often excel in that department because European basketball drills fundamentals, spacing, and team IQ into every possession. That's why this new overseas scouting department isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential. The Fever need players who fit Clark's rhythm, not big names who steal touches or clash with her tempo. The chemistry has to be perfect. And right as this conversation was heating up, breaking news dropped from Chloe Peterson at the Indy Star, literally minutes ago, confirming everything insiders have been whispering. The Fever are officially in planning mode, but they're planning blind. Think about how wild that is. They're trying to build a championship roster without even knowing the rules of the game.
By them winning a championship. I'm tired of this debating back and forth. Players this, players that, players missing shots, missing. I don't want none of that. I want Olympians, superstar players, and more importantly, experience. Now, we seen last year, they brought experienced players in like DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard showed up at times. DeWanna Bonner was just completely out of the fight. Nigga got so bad, Stephanie White had to bench her, essentially why she quit the team. Now, with that being said, we need to...
Nobody knows what the new salary cap will be, if core designations will survive, or what the expansion draft rules look like. And get this, the WNBA still hasn't decided if players can enter the draft before completing 4 years of college. That last one is straight up mind-blowing. Most people don't even realize it's a rule. 4 full years before you're eligible. If that changes, the entire talent pipeline could explode with new young stars. Imagine 20-year-old phenoms entering the league early, bringing more speed, flash, and athleticism. It would reshape everything overnight. But for now, Indiana has to play chess in the dark. They need not one, not two, but a whole alphabet of backup plans, and from A to Z. At the core, they've only got 3 guaranteed contracts. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Damaris Dantas. That's your foundation. Everything else needs to be built around those 3 pillars. Lexi Hull, now a restricted free agent, gives them hope. Because she's a perfect fit next to Clark as that classic 3-and-D wing. She showed massive growth last season, proving she belongs in this next chapter of Fever basketball. Sophie Cunningham's name just hit the board, and it's a big one. She's an unrestricted free agent, but she's made it clear she wants to come back to Indiana. The Fever better not mess this up because Cunningham brings that rare combo of grit, shooting, and veteran swagger. She's got that edge every locker room needs, the kind that turns scrappy teams into real contenders. But let's be real. The crown jewel of free agency is still Kelsey Mitchell. Amber Cox didn't even try to hide it. She said straight up that Mitchell is priority number 1. And honestly, she's earned that title. Mitchell dropped over 19 points a game last season and stayed one of the most efficient scorers in the entire league. Pair her up with Caitlin Clark in that backcourt, and you've got a duo that can torch defenses from anywhere on the floor. That's pure danger for every opponent in the W.
It's hard to know what the Indiana Fever will do this offseason. There are a lot of unknowns this season in the WNBA. All but 2 league veterans are free agents, and some will say shape or form the expansion draft. It's upcoming with 2 teams, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, slated to join in 2026. So not 1 team is joining this year, 2 teams. So we remember last year how it went when we lost Timmy Fig.
Now here's the tough question. Can the Fever actually afford to keep everyone they want and still land the extra firepower they need? That's where the chess game begins. The salary cap's uncertain, free agents are circling, and timing is everything. You can't freeze up or overthink it. You've got to move with confidence even in chaos. That's the mentality of a real contender. Adapt or fall behind. And that's exactly what separates good GMs from great ones. Amber Cox is walking through fire right now, building a potential championship squad while the entire WNBA landscape shifts under her feet. But here's why Fever fans can still breathe easy. She's focusing on what she can control. Player development, elite international scouting, tight communication with the core stars, and locking down the right free agents. That's the formula she's living by. And if all those pieces fall into place, get ready, because the 2026 Fever roster could be the most dangerous lineup this franchise has ever seen. That's pure truth right there. Caitlin Clark has to step fully into her power now. She's already a superstar, but the Fever need to give her a squad that lets her shine like one. No more solo missions, no more just making do. It's time to build the kind of lineup that screams championship ready. So let's actually picture it. The dream starting 5. Caitlin Clark running point like a floor general, Kelsey Mitchell lighting it up at shooting guard, Lexi Hull holding down the wing at small forward, and Aaliyah Boston anchoring the paint at power forward. Then you slide in a veteran center. Someone like Stephanie Dolson or even Jonquel Jones if a trade falls into place. That's not just a strong lineup, that's a problem for the entire league. Off the bench, you've got Sophie Cunningham coming in with that instant spark. Fearless energy and scoring punch. Damiris Dantas stretching the floor with her jumper, keeping defenses honest. Add in 2 or 3 international players with real championship DNA. Maybe Aston Dur, maybe Maria Conde from the Spanish League.
Do what they can. This most part, FIBA coach Stephanie White stated that you get exhausted if you start thinking about the what ifs, the what can happen, the what White stated. Right now, I'm just going to be where my feet are. And Chloe Peterson noted this at the bottom. But guys, as you can see, look like the Indiana Fever could be planning on bringing some overseas players to this roster. So,
players who know how to win and don't need a learning curve. Put all that together and you've got a rotation 9 or 10 deep. Legit talent from top to bottom. That's a team that can stack up 25 to 30 wins and go toe-to-toe with the best come playoff time. The kind of team that can finally rewrite the Fever story. But here's where it gets heavy. The Fever are standing at a real crossroads. The choices they make this offseason won't just shape their roster. They could define Caitlin Clark's entire legacy. We've seen this story before. Generational stars carrying too much weight without the right support. LeBron left Cleveland the first time for that very reason. Kevin Durant bounced from OKC for the same one. If Indiana doesn't build this thing right, history could repeat itself again. Anthony Davis forced his way out of New Orleans when the franchise couldn't build fast enough. And don't think for a second the WNBA is immune to that same story. If the Fever fail to surround Caitlin Clark with real championship caliber help, she could eventually look elsewhere too. That's just how the modern game works. Stars want rings, not promises. But here's the silver lining. It actually sounds like the front office gets it. Every sign points to them moving with urgency. The international scouting expansion, the push to re-sign their core players, and the focus on adding winners with experience. Those are all the right moves. Now it's not about ideas, it's about execution. The timeline's locked in. The CBA talks will wrap around Halloween. The expansion draft hits in December and free agency explodes right after that. Within a year, we'll see exactly what kind of empire Indiana's building. A legit super team or another almost there story that fades out too soon. Here's my take. If they can secure Kelsey Mitchell, bring back Lexi Hull and Sophie Cunningham, and add 2 top-tier international talents, this team is instantly top 3 in the league. They'll have the balance, the shooting, the defense, and most importantly, the experience to chase a title. Caitlin Clark won't have to carry the whole world on her shoulders anymore. She'll have the artillery to win it all. It all comes down to what's happening right now behind those front office doors. Amber Cox is controlling the controllables, and honestly, that's exactly what great leaders do when the pressure's highest. So now it's your turn. What moves do you want the Fever to make this offseason? Who should they target in international free agency? And do you believe Caitlin Clark can bring a championship home to Indiana?
Speak up for herself, because people do not like a weak superstar. You can say what you want about LeBron, you can say what you want about any other player. These set players speak up for themselves. Caitlin Clark had to put the muscular mask on and mean face on to defend herself. We can only do so much as content creators. We can only do much as fans. Caitlin Clark has to stand up for herself and make sure she keep her fandom alive, because as of right now, this is the year that could make or break the Caitlin Clark effect. Mark my words. I'm seeing a decrease in viewership. There has been a decrease in sales, like I stated. There definitely has been a decrease in interest with Caitlin Clark. Can all of this be fixed? Yes, it can be fixed. If the Indiana...
Let's talk about it. This next chapter for the Indiana Fever could change everything. Every trade, every signing, every headline, it all matters right now. And trust me, we'll be covering every single move this front office makes as they try to build the super team Indiana fans have been begging for. If you made it this far, don't just scroll away. Hit that like, subscribe, and share this video so more people see what's really going on behind the scenes. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who should the Fever sign? And do you think Caitlin Clark can finally bring that championship home? This is the biggest stretch in franchise history, and we're breaking down every detail. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and I'll see you in the next one.